So in this section, we are going to be looking at proteins, another major macronutrient which really impacts our body and our ability to fight things like inflammation and being able to survive overall. So what are proteins is what we want to understand first, and then how can we protect our proteins so that by the time it gets to the part of the body that will digest it, the body is able to recognize it. To really make sense of this video and the next one, it's really best if you start over at a couple of the earlier videos where you're learning about things like the microbiome and getting a general sense for how all the nutrients work together. So please take a look at those videos. So when we want to understand what are proteins, we have two major sources of protein in our diet, and that can come from plant protein and animal protein. Now, when we look at a protein, take a look at this little image down here. This image is an example of a protein, and if you can tell, it's very fragile, meaning that it can be moved and configured in many, many different ways, and it can easily be altered. So I want you to take an example of this name, shaka, and imagine that shaka is a fruit. So if this fruit goes into your body, into your digestive tract, what you really want is that when the body breaks down this fruit, it's able to break it down into components, these would be known as amino acids in your body, into components H7a, for example, that is recognizable by the body. So what I'm trying to say here is if, for example, you know the English alphabet, then your body should hopefully recognize the S, the H, the A, the K, and the A as separate entities. Once it gets into the body and it's broken down into these individual letters, let's say, those letters can then go and serve a function to help build another name or another cell, for example, in your body. So K might go towards vitamin K, or H might go towards a heart cell. These are just simple examples to try to get you to understand that a protein will come in one form when it comes to the body, but the idea is that you're able to break it down into simple, separate, what we call amino acids that then get used to build other cells or other substances in the body. So the important piece to understand there is when you bring these substances into the body, the closer they are to their original format becomes the key. It becomes the key so that your microbiome can recognize it, for example, or places in your small intestine can easily absorb these micronutrients or fats or carbohydrates or anything that comes into the body. So when we look at plant-based protein, the big difference that we see compared to something like animal protein is this beautiful protection provided by fiber. While I won't be able to go into that into this video, we have a whole separate section talking about fiber and talking about the importance of fiber as being a glue or a wrap to protect things like the protein, to get them to where they need to get absorbed in their most natural state. The other important thing to understand is that there are many types of amino acids, and both plant protein and animal protein can give you all of the amino acids that you're looking for, as long as you know where to find them. And again, this is really where variety makes a huge difference. So take a look at our micronutrient conversation about eating the rainbow or seasonal foods, for example. In the next video, we are then going to look at the cooking spectrum. So a quick introduction to different ways to consume food and what does that do to our proteins, so we can really try to figure out what's the best version of a food that we might be able to consume. I hope this explanation helped you better understand the value of protein in our body, and I'll see you in the next video.